Let me look it up. Sure. Okay.
Hello, everyone. We are live. It's your girl, Callie and Montique, and hopefully Joy will join us soon. We don't know where she is. But anywho, we're here to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Mm-hmm.
You have the title of it, Callie?
Yep. Season 6, episode 12. We Scott a monster issue.
We got a monster issue. Okay, so that makes sense for that title. Everything we say is allegedly our opinion, entertainment purposes only. Please like and subscribe so you can enjoy our algorithm, make it go up. We love that you all are watching live with us or doing a replay afterwards. But anyway, Callie, how's your day and how would you rate this episode?
Everything is okay. I would rate this episode, and I don't even know why that therapist is sticking out in my mind first with them tennis shoes on. I would give the episode a 4. I mean, because when yeah. What
We
about
look
you?
cute, girl. I'm about to share this. We cute today. Okay, hold on. Let me share it in the
All
group.
them I mean, did you see the way she was dressed? Girl.
I just heard people talk about her braids. I didn't pay attention, so maybe I need to go back and look. They were like, we talking about Martell's therapist. They was like, did she not know she was filming? I said, well, maybe she couldn't get them done.
It sounded like it was last minute. She had to come earlier or something because Martell's stuff got rearranged. That's when he got mad at Mama and all that, but still.
We're going to talk about that later. We're going to try to wait for Joy to talk about that babysitter conversation.
Yeah, because, you can always get some ballet flats out the bag or something. You got to be prepared, Miss Doctor. Anyway.
Girl, that is true. You got to have your ballet flats. Okay. Yeah. So let's see where we're going to start. I forgot Martell first. Was Tiffany them on there? Mel wasn't on this episode.
No, the only people I remember honestly is Martell and Monster. Those
what
stories.
About Stormy? I didn't catch the beginning. So what happened with Miss Betty Kruger, as people call her?
Very fitting.
That lady, I don't know. But what do you think about her, the situation? How did that end? I didn't see it.
I just don't. Well, they didn't make up. Stormy told her mother to go and do the hugging. And the mother said, what the F? How can I hug her if she's walking? Her normal cursing there. Mm-hmm. That entire situation
and your flowers
is weird. I just don't. It just felt very done just for the TV.
So do you think that was fake? Because some people thought that it was kind of staged, but then it went left.
Yeah, I think it might have been staged. I really do. And then, so they didn't make up at that moment. It is what it is. The storm and her fake tears. But one other thing, I thought that was really, really, really fake. But another thing that stuck out to me is when her and her husband were riding in the car and they were talking about do we need to get rid of more people? And then she said, well, you just had to fire your best friend.
Who was it? So they had their friends and family discount at the
They had friends and families, it sound like. And then she said, well, we're not done because your warehouse manager can't tell you when you're out of products. And then I thought, honestly, I said, that better not be the white boy she's trying to fire.
I think it could be his brother, because his brother was working there too. Because you remember when Stormy's Junior, is that his name? Was like, well, you ain't fired your brother.
Sound like he was. It didn't sound like the brother was a manager when Junior was talking about
okay.
I mean, I could be wrong, but it didn't sound like he was doing anything other than getting a paycheck, honestly.
But do you feel like Stormy is blaming everybody for them not getting the orders out and not taking accountability? Because I felt like she kept having because I even ordered some stuff. It took forever to get here, but I didn't complain. And I did just order some stuff from mail and I got it like in 3 days. I was like, okay, lady. But anyway, it seems like she kept putting special after special after special, which means that people were going to order, but she couldn't fulfill it. So I feel like it was kind of her fault.
It was, and especially she did make a good point when they had that first meeting when she had to fire her cousin, when she said every time we're late on something, we always give them free product and it's just taken away from the profit. So she sent you something free, right?
Yeah, she sent me like what I bought was $100 and she sent me $100 like store credit to buy $100 worth of more stuff. Yeah. Like
so
I had
I get it. That's
and I got something like free, like some hair gel.
See.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
gift and all. I understand that, but
that's
a
a
waste
lot.
of her money. It's a
It
waste of her
is.
money. And
Yeah.
she said her and the husband, what is his name?
Courtney?
Courtney. Okay. So she said her and Courtney used to get out like 800 boxes a week or something like that. And she said that with just them two, and now they're getting out a lot less now, and they have more
They have
people.
a staff.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and I could just be tripping. I think that staff is working the way they see their leadership work, which
Mm-hmm.
is probably slow. They don't feel the importance, and now that everything is on TV, it's sticking out a little bit more. So now she's going to attempt to put everybody on blast. When in fact, sometimes it really does have to start at the top.
It does. I think she needs to stop having all these sales. She needs to stop creating all these products, which I know more
Mm-hmm.
products, more money, but you got to get what you have fixed first.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that she's losing a whole bunch of money, but she could have so much more. Because I mean,
Yeah.
she gave me. I'm not gonna lie. She gave me a lot, so
She's
I didn't
losing.
complain.
I think she's losing a lot of money. Of course, she
Yeah,
probably still has more than she's losing. But did I tell you? I thought you could just get her products at like Target and Walmart,
you
whatever.
should be able to
Her,
Target.
yeah, you can. But her stuff was at the hair salon the hair store the other day with the weaves and the wigs. Yes, it
Oh
was
wow! So
too.
she's in the like the
She has been
Asian
in hair
store.
stores here. Yes, I had to pop out my phone and record it too. I
What?
forgot to
That's
post it.
good.
Yeah, she was surely in there. Hmm.
Well, okay, huh? And she needs some Kenya more hair care. Kenya got her stuff out to me too. I do buy from. I didn't buy that bottle wine, but you did, right?
Well, I bought it. I never got it.
So you didn't get your wine from Martell. I didn't buy chocolate in the
Mm-mm.
bottle, but I think I may do that. I try to support all them. But
I
anyway,
bought Giselle's lashes. We've heard nothing else about
yeah.
them.
Where are her
You
lashes?
tell me. I mean, I guess the same place the beauty line is.
Oh no, the shade.
I
Okay.
don't know. Melanie needs to give out a class for how to do what she do in 3 days.
Girl, I got that stuff so fast. Jordan was like, "Something's on the porch." I'm like, "Did I buy something from Amazon?" And it was her stuff. She's fat. Mel. Another thing. Stormy now shows herself like going through. You know how Mel shows her stuff, self packing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
Stormy
See.
has stuff where she's going through like labels and putting them on boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe she need to because I got my stuff. I bought 2 things from Mel. I spent some
Yeah.
money,
And
but
it definitely appears like she's trying to copy Mel. But you know what else though? And this is probably really petty, but I sure thought about it.
okay, what?
Sheree was
Oh,
on was it on the TV or maybe it was just in an Instagram video or something. But you know how Melody's always holding her phone, taking selfies, and she'll
uh-huh.
get to turn her head all slow and winking her little eye.
And winking her
What
eye, do like
Sheree is doing the
she's
exact
starting to do
same
that.
thing. The
And
exact same
Sheree
thing.
uses a filter too. You know, I had my
Yeah, and I
filter ring.
thought, is she moving just like Melody? It just seemed weird. It's probably is nothing, of course, but it looked like
Yeah,
that
she
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 was
doing it.
just copying a little bit more than. Mhm. I'm just
But let's
saying.
talk about the. Do you like that they call this little boy monster?
I don't. No.
Hate that. What do y'all think? People are watching. Y'all can comment.
And yeah,
You gotta
I
be.
think,
What if
I
people are
think that
watching
they
this? You
should
know, I think
stop. They should stop that, but we shouldn't have to tell them to stop. This is a young black kid that you have on TV, and his nickname is Monster. And Monster was caught in the bathroom doing those things Tiffany didn't have no business speaking on.
right.
And Monster's not doing his homework or whatever. So that name goes along with everything he seems to be doing. That we are, that as a teenager, he's not the only one doing it. But we need to foster a different relationship, and the name Monster doesn't help with that. I'm just
I
saying.
don't like that nickname because they were saying that they didn't like her being called Sugar Mama, and I'm thinking none of that Sugar Mama versus Monster. Nobody complains
Yeah,
about Monster, but you're gonna.
Sugar
So I
Mama
don't
is
like that.
sweet.
And I don't. Another thing I don't understand is why they always have to put this little boy's issues on TV. Because I feel like he didn't
Mhm.
want Tiffany to talk about the issues, but every
So
time
this
Marie,
is
yeah,
every time he speaks, it's on there. But
yes,
this was a worse. This was the worst episode to watch him and anything dealing with his son. What's Monster's real name? Do we know?
oh, who does anybody know Monster's real name? I have no idea.
Because that's so
I
bad.
don't
I don't
know.
know. He
I mean,
just
I don't No.
And I feel a little weird talking about Maurice because, he doesn't really do a lot. And I definitely don't have a son. I don't know anything about that. But
Right.
he just seems to push everything off of his plate
Oh, we
and
slow. His
into the
name
laps.
Maurice Jr.
Is he a
Why is he
junior?
not MJ? Like MJ, right? Or Junior?
I don't know.
Does anybody know what Monster came from? Why did they call this little boy this? Okay, go ahead.
Why does everyone? Okay, let me think about this. Monster, Maurice, Marsaw,
Marcel, Martell,
Martell, Marcus, Marker. I mean, what is up with
Melody.
the M's? Melody, M
Oh,
and
Marcel's
M
son is
kids.
MJ. Can they not both be MJ?
I guess I can. I guess Maurice's son is MJ, so they call him MJ. Okay.
So they call
So
Marcel. So
maybe.
he couldn't be just Junior? Child, what's his middle name? I just don't understand.
Well, we don't have to call him Monster. I mean,
I don't like it. But anyway,
I
so
don't like it either. But he seems to push his responsibilities in a different direction. So, and Kimmy seems really frustrated with him. Did you get that during that conversation?
I did. I did. It's like she's and he got a different wife than Marcel, and I feel like he tries to be funny like him or have this little slick back and forth, but he just ain't him. And his wife ain't Tish, so she ain't gonna just sit there and take it. But I feel like he tries to make it seem like this little boy, because he's still a little boy. I mean, he's growing up to be a man, should know all these things without him teaching it to him. To do all these things without, he was like, I spend time with him. I take him to school. I pick him up from school. For him to think that that's spending time.
Right. I mean, it's sad because, we could assume that, he's just saying that because he's on TV. But he has to know how that looks. If that's the only time you're really spending with your son, then no wonder he absorbed the heck out of his mother's attention while she was there. I mean, he misses his mom. And I just thought, wow.
I thought, what's her name? She looks so pretty. Kiwi?
Kaiwa.
Whatever. She looks very pretty. TV. I agree with that.
Right. Right. And his conversations in general, even since the whole Tiffany thing, they shouldn't be on TV at all with those conversations, because no matter how it turns out, those are negative conversations for people to hear. To me, they're negative. It's also no difference with Marlo and her nephews. We don't need to know that they don't clean their room and that they put holes in the wall.
I didn't watch the interview, so can you give us something on the interview that makes you feel that way? Like, what did he say? What was 2 or 3 things or one thing that stuck out to you? And we can bring you on if it's easier to say simply. That Maurice said that. So if you want to come on, let us know if it's easier. That made you feel like
I didn't watch that interview, but I saw it sitting out there. So I hate to hear that he seems to not care. Really? But why? It's his son. There's not a woman out here that's going to be able to raise a man like a father would raise a man. Not that that's a bad thing, but your father is present and your communication with him is to and from school. What?
But if you think about it, none of the Scott brothers or men seem like they're involved with their kids, because Marcel didn't even know somebody's birthday or their schedule. It's like they feel like, and Kimmy is not his mom. I mean, I know she's a bonus parent, but it seemed like he brought his son here because he needs to grow up and be a man and be with me. But he has his wife that's not even the child's mother, and who has raised a child who's in college, raising his son. That's, to me, it's
I get the feeling that Marcel does engage with his oldest son.
The son, at least.
At least the son, not the daughters, but the son. I've seen Marcel have his son at some of those building sites with him sometimes. I've seen him have conversations with him. And when he told Tisha he didn't want to live with her anymore while they was redoing the home, he said him and his son would live elsewhere. So he seems to have a little bit more engagement from what we see on TV. And of course, hopefully what we're seeing is not really what's happening as it relates to their kids, because that's it's a little concerning, especially for Maurice. I just hope that we're all wrong and that there is so much more going on that they don't want to put on TV, and they just need to maybe make a few better decisions on what
We
they
just
do
said that
put
to
on
sum it up.
TV.
They're the same. Yeah, they are kind of the same.
Wow.
So at first I was thinking, and I'm hoping that this is true. I feel like hopefully this isn't happening really, and he's just trying to stay relevant. But now you're saying that he stood 10 toes down, deep in it with Carlos. Then this is just him. Because I was like, maybe he's trying to stay relevant because he's scared they're gonna get kicked off the show. Because he don't do nothing for me. Like,
I got to go and watch that interview because sometimes Carlos can be very funny or attempt to be funny. And I wonder if that makes some of his guests be a little bit more relaxed. So I need to look at that so I can see, is this really how Maurice feels or thinks, or is he just kind of going off of Carlos's vibe, which is really sometimes it's kind of a playful. But I mean, he's been serious lately because Garcelle's pissed at him. We all know you don't want to get
yeah,
on
Garcelle and Sutton is
that
mad,
page.
honey.
Okay. But in general, he can have a funny personality sometimes in the middle of some of the serious conversations. And, so what's really happening would be my
I will
question.
say the one with Kiki and Carlos is really good. He just let her talk. And when I say she talked, did you know she had 2 masters already?
Kiki, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
I
I
believe
was
so.
like, okay, so this lady copy everybody. She get 2 masters.
You know what? It's true.
Kiki had it. Okay, what else I got to say about him? What do you think about, is it Kiowa? Say her name again.
Kiowa.
Kiowa. And when she was sitting there and Kimmy was sitting there, and it was like they was trying to say, Maurice, read the room. This ain't what you want to say. And he was just saying, what they call him, MLK? Maurice Luther King. He just kept. Do you think she should take her son back?
Well, based on what we see, and which is not a lot, absolutely she should take her son back.
Because she has a husband. It's not like he won't grow up without a
Does she?
male
Because
figure.
her name is still Scott.
Is she married? Can somebody say if she's married? With boys, fathers have to be present, not to only teach them, but also yes, to
see how
see how they.
carry themselves.
I agree.
Yeah. So I don't
Is
know
she
that.
married? Is Kiowa? I'm sorry, whatever her name. I call her Kiwi. I know I shouldn't, but it's
You did
Kiwi.
not call her Kiwi.
I do. In my notes, I just type Kiwi. It's Kiwi. Is she married? Can somebody answer that? But I think she has a man in her life at least.
Yeah, I think she does. It seemed like they were married when he was there, and she could have just kept Scott as a maiden or a hyphen name just to
his
stay
lack
close.
of understanding. Oh, let's talk about that too. That Kim was fighting for her life. He needs for sex was a priority, and Kim she was. I mean, he was mad that she was like, I faked it. Like that hurt his ego. I feel like when a man is this needy for sex, and I feel like he'll one pump chump. I just do.
A one punch chump.
What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I just never heard a term that way before, child. But no, I agree. I've always thought that. I mean, literally, even
she's married.
Even when I was younger, and you're meeting all these new guys for the first time here, it would always seem like y'all that talk the most trash had the least to really offer. So I'm not surprised. He is very selfish, but so is Marsau. So and it's a big family, and it's a lot of men. It sounds like, and his dad's in Michigan. I wish we could see more of that relationship between the boys and Marsau, Maurice, and his father in Michigan, because they are. Maurice is nicer, but they seem both set in their ways, and the woman is there to do something that they to cater to them on a different level, it sounds like.
So this is what he said in the interview, that his need for sex is a priority even though Kimmy's sick. Kimmy's better than me. I think I put in my note, Kimmy is the best part of Maurice. Like if she wasn't with him, I don't think anybody would even pay him any attention.
I wonder how long it took for them to go from dating to getting married.
It was what, 6 years?
Was it that long? Okay.
It was a long time.
Kimmy seems pretty short. Like she's not sharp. I mean, like she's not just gonna take anything off of a guy, and she's very set in her
Sorry,
ways.
my dog crazy.
But it has an effect on what we're seeing. She really seems kind of fed up with this monster conversation and the lack of support she feels like she's getting.
And why does he feel like the kid, whatever her name, and Kimmy need to sit down and talk? Like, it's like he's pushing this on her.
Is he reaching for conversation, period? He's just reaching for something else to talk about, because he doesn't talk about his job. He doesn't really build anything. And although he was at the builder's photo shoot ribbon cutting, what else is he doing? And he can't do anything after 4 o'clock that would ever be discussed on TV, according to Kimmy. So is he just trying to keep something going for a storyline?
I don't know, but I really feel like they don't need to do this with this little boy ever again. Maurice Jr. needs to be a kid. You know that he's uncomfortable on camera. He doesn't feel comfortable talking to his dad, because he seemed like when he got along with his mom, he seemed more like into it. He seemed happier. He was like, yes, I want you to come around more. Like, but with Maurice, it's like he's shell shocked. Like, he don't know what to say. He don't know what to do, because it seemed like he always getting told you're not doing something right, like a drill sergeant. Right. You need to do that.
And it just seemed out of the way. It really did seem out of the way when he said, "Why you got that look on your face? I mean, you're running out of time." It's like, well, what look? And Monster's telling him, yeah, there's not a look for that. I'm just sitting here. What do you want me to say? It just seems like he went in on him a little hard.
And then it seems like, yes, when he was with his mom washed his clothes, his mom made his bed. His mom did things for him. So when he came to that house and it was different, you got to give him some tools to adjust. You got to show him what he needs to do. You can't just think he's going to automatically know what to do if he hadn't done it before. And it's like, Maurice acts like a child just knows stuff without getting some type of understanding. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like he just made that scene very. I stopped liking him a little bit after that.
Yeah. What do you mean in pharmaceutical? He used to work in pharmaceuticals.
Okay, forcing the boy to move to Huntsville. Yeah,
was a mistake. If Maurice wanted to raise him, he should have. I agree. And he
had to get new friends. Think about that: new school, new everything.
And this is a time where. Oh, so what state is she living in? Where's she at?
Is she still in Michigan? Because remember, they had that fake storyline about him buying her a house.
Yeah.
And her moving here. We knew that wasn't happening. So Marsha and Simply said that he's trying to pit Kimmy and the two Ks against each other. And he's passing the prop. He wants them to solve it. But he don't want it. I agree. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I have anything else about them. They made me pretty mad. I did say, why don't he just go back to his mom?
Yeah, I think it really felt, I mean, that was the best part of the show. And I did post my thoughts on that on TikTok. But he just really seemed like his mother is what he needed. I mean, he doesn't seem to be happy at all. And this is really an important time. I was so glad. I think it was a really good scene, the way she talked to him and said, how often, exactly how much time would you like to spend? And he said, as much as your schedule will allow. I was like, oh my God, it's so sweet.
Misses his mom.
He misses her. He really does. And, I don't know that I'd want to be states away from my baby.
I don't either. And I think Kimmy wants to kind of discipline him, but she doesn't want to kind of overstep, especially him being a young man growing up. She feels like his dad should do that.
Yeah. And do you agree with that?
Oh, look at that. I thought he wanted to spend more time with him. I understand. JJ, us too.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did he?
Because he's definitely not spending more time.
He's
and
not.
Based on what he does for a living. Okay, so they were in the credit business, and Kyle was the mama, Kimmy is the daddy, Maurice is, what, Simply. Hashtag facts.
Hashtag factual.
Because it seems like Kimmy is kind of running everything.
She is.
At her sickest moment.
And she's sitting there fighting breast cancer, trying to roll over for you when you want to have sex, take care of your son, take care of your house. What is Maurice doing? I don't know.
Literally. I finally saw him post a closing or something on his Instagram that they was going to make a close. That was the first one I'd seen.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. So anything else? Does he have value? I don't think so. And I really feel like he knows that he doesn't have any value in this show. He has nothing to offer in this show. So he's offering up his son. He's volunteering his son as tribute when he was mad when Tiffany said something about his son. So it's okay for you to dog your son on TV. You know, it makes no sense to me. And I wonder, do you think Monster gets picked on, or does people say something in school, or that's another
what?
thing.
I don't think so. And I could be wrong, but while he might be kind of quiet around Kimmy and Maurice, I don't see punk in him nowhere.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
He goes to the school with his cousins, with Marcel's kids, right? I think is what they said.
I think so.
He's up there with family. He ain't getting picked on. If so, I'm thinking they would put the Scott B down on him.
Yeah, they better.
And he's a good-looking little boy. He's up there trying to get him some girlfriends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't hear this part. When did this happen?
When he
said he helped with his homework, and Kimmy said if you were helping him, he wouldn't be missing a
sign. Oh,
that's true.
Good
Why
point.
is he missing assignments? Poor thing. I really want to come and help him. Maybe he needs the 20 babysitters. We need some help over here. Wait,
it's true though. I think it's more than just which math problem might you be stuck on, and then let me answer it and go. He's trusting that his son will turn in everything he's supposed to do, and clearly that's not happening. And maybe Maurice just isn't good in that department, but then the departments are getting a little tight that he might be good in, because I'm confused.
Yeah, I feel like he knows that his time is about up. And he's trying to use whatever he can to stay relevant. Because that was in my notes. Is he just trying to stay relevant? Oh, he should stay go back relevant. Home. Girl, come get your baby. I agree. If after watching this, I feel like, I don't know, what grade is he in? Because maybe now he wants to graduate from the school he's at.
Yeah, he's in the 10th. I think he said he was 15.
Okay.
So he'd only be around for a couple more years or whatever in school. He might want to finish there, but if he goes back home, how long has he been here? For just all of middle school, it sounds like. Yeah, he was. He Poor might. Thing. Yeah, I don't know.
So are we done with this? Are you ready to talk about the babysitter?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about Martell. We're trying to wait for Joy because that's her boo. But she thinks she misses, what's his last name? Hope. But she ain't here, and we don't know where she is. But anyway, so what do you think about Martell? So when he was on that interview with, what's her name, Sheba, something like that, he was talking about that he didn't get child support because, or his court fees paid, which I'm like, really? That's what you was okay. Anyway, moving on, Montique, stop. Because he didn't go to therapy, right? So now he's going to therapy because Mel has the kids in therapy. Why did it take him so long to go to this man should know he needs some therapy, right?
I just want to know who the judge is. I mean, because it seems like some things happened there. But what I didn't like about any of that conversation is everything he was frustrated about is everything he supposedly went to court for. Is because Melody always had something to do. And, he wanted first rights. Did he call Melody? No, but it sounds like he did call his mama and then get mad at her when she wasn't there. He is probably... he seems very selfish. He seems very, very, very selfish to me.
Callie, you have exactly what I had in my notes. I said, he's sitting here. Did he give Mel the first right?
Right. It doesn't sound like he did. I mean, they've been through court for this stuff, and now he's sitting here a little busy. And so, well, I will say this, though. He said he was busy. He had to make some changes. So that's why he was at the doctor's office earlier. Does that explain why she had on high top Nikes? Or should we not discuss that? I'm just...
Go ahead, Kelly. Talk about it, because people was...
Listen, it shouldn't matter what you wear, but when I am walking into a house or office or wherever, and I'm going to talk to a psychiatrist, I don't want to look like I'm talking to my teenage daughter. What?
Do you think she was legit?
Yeah, I do. Because Melody, that's the same one that Melody goes to.
That's a different one, right? Is that the same one?
It looks like the same because Melody was with her person 2 weeks ago on the show.
Oh, I
That's
don't
the same
remember.
one.
Oh,
And
so
so
she is legit. Did she have on Hot House with Mel?
no, she was dressed normally with Mel. So
Okay. So
which
maybe she knows who
supports.
she's dealing with.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I ain't gotta
yeah,
get
well, that's
right.
true too. So it supports that maybe this was a last minute thing because of the time change, which is another reason. Just keep some ballet flats in because you never know what's going to happen if you need to change.
Right.
Because I wouldn't have been able to take her serious. I'm not going to sit. Anyway, let me get off her. She's not.
So I have Martell told his therapist that Marlene won't babysit at times, and he gets upset and wants to withhold certain things from her. Is he trying to force this lady to babysit his kids?
He said he gets upset considering the things he does for her or something like that. Kind of.
Okay, that is Mel's doctor. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, that's the same
you want to talk about Huntsville? This ain't Atlanta. Okay, let me bring Michelle. Say he want to talk. Okay, Marcel.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
What?
Yeah, so it's the same doctor. It's the same doctor, but it just sounded like he went off on his mom because mom wasn't available to keep his 15 kids. Things like that happen when you have a job or you have other things to do, and allegedly he's important now and he's getting all these things that he might need to go and do. Melody's been doing this for months, but yet you took her to court because if you need something at the last minute, you're supposed to call me. Did he call Mel? Or did he
No,
just
I
call
know
his
he
mom
didn't.
and go off on mom? And then who did he call when the child was at Belinda's house? Was Melody not available? I mean, so everything he complains about, okay, I'm just gonna shut up.
I didn't, but I don't like him saying, "Oh, if my mama don't keep my kids, then I ain't gonna give her nothing else."
She raised that too. I mean, she loves her son, don't we all? But she kind of that's how she kind of raised him to be, isn't it? That's why when he said I need to go to a therapist, and she said, "Well, what's wrong with you, Mom? Really?" I don't know. I think that's kind of how she raised him to be.
Yes.
And then who? Okay, can we talk about the brother while we're talking about?
Yes, we're gonna talk about the brother. Go ahead. His name is Montez. That's my mama's name. I said, okay.
Montez. So, are they both her sons?
Yes. I'm thinking because he said something like, "Mama, we had the streets raised us because Mama was always at work." So I'm assuming.
Okay.
Anybody else know that? He only wants those kids for child support.
Oh, absolutely. And no matter what, he can't ever say that's not true.
Owe Mel first right to refusal. Well, why does he not owe it? I don't.
Right. Why doesn't he owe it when he requested that she do that for him? He didn't just request it, he went to court over it. And that's kind of why I'm interested in who is the judge. Because there's no way in the world.
Would you think about next week? Bad that he wants first rights and then he pawns them kids off on his mama just to know what she's doing. Because I feel like he wants to know what she's doing. If she's well, you can't keep them. Are you going somewhere? What are you doing? He wants this because he wants to know what she's doing.
Right.
That's the only reason he wants. He don't want it because of the kids.
Right. I believe that.
Her son's different daddies. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So are both their daddies in jail?
No, Martell's daddy's out now. He's been out.
No, but did both of them go to jail? I know the brother went to jail. The whole family.
Let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it 100.
I'm asking Leon.
Ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, so they have explain. So they have different daddies, same mama, right?
Yes, Marlene is their mama. They got different daddies.
Oh,
okay. So what in the court documents did you see? Because you said you saw them that you didn't agree with.
I saw some of them, and let's just say that Martell's a piece of work.
Yeah.
And honestly, there were allegations of abuse.
Right.
And he put everything on Mel when it wasn't Mel. They literally had statements from one of the kids.
What?
Yeah, I had heard that too. And knowing that, so if you see that in the paperwork, there might be some truth to it, one would assume. So what do you think would have made the judge say Martell seems to be trying to do what's best for the kids, but he can't see anything that says Melody is doing the same?
Well, you want to know my honest opinion is this:
Yeah.
Martell
Okay.
finally went to counseling, so that was like a step forward for the judge. But I didn't
Oh,
understand the issue with Melody, because if that situation with her blocking Martell happened in October, why are you holding it over her head in February?
Exactly.
so that's
Exactly.
why she was saying that because she blocked him, she wasn't
Because
doing what.
she blocked him for like a month because he excessively calls her phone. He was popping up at her house all hours of the day and night. They had to basically send Martell a trespassing warning to stop him
What?
from showing up. Yes, that's all that's in that those paperwork.
Oh
Oh
my God.
my God.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
That is crazy.
He was literally stalking that woman and
Yeah.
getting away with it. It was like the judge is basically telling her, it's in your children's best interest for you to be stalked and harassed at your own damn house.
So who is this judge?
Well, from what I heard, the judge has a reputation of being lenient towards men. And if
Okay.
you look at some
Oh.
of the stuff
Right.
that she let him get away with, like he was supposed to do counseling with the boy back in March of 2022. She basically had to force him to go by September of 2022. He completely disregarded the court orders. So when I saw the clip for next week, I understand why Melody is mad, because if you
Oh
see some of the
yeah.
documents, you're like, how did you come to that judgment over a phone?
And that is kind of what I am wondering, because how does a judge say that about the mother with everything we see and we hear and we're learning about what Martell has done? Even if you favor the men, the facts should still have some kind of weight.
And
And
then
it
It
another
was
thing, do you think Mel could go back and be like, I know he says that I can't have my kids on any kind of social media or whatever, but he has his son on there. So I don't
I've been saying
understand.
for forever that Martell is a walking contradiction,
mm-hmm.
because if you're pulling the other kids from the show because you're trying to protect them, and you don't want them on social media because you're trying to protect them, but then
Right.
you go out and you post the fifth child, that completely contradicts what you're
Yeah.
doing to the other four.
Which should show them, to me, that he's only doing that with her kids because he can't control the money they're going to make off of whatever it is they're doing. So
Well,
he needs to stop that.
they said that was one of the problems he had in court. He wanted basically some of the profits from her sugar mama line.
No.
That is a nickname you don't even use to
He don't
call to
even like that
identify that
nickname.
child.
Yeah,
Thank
did
you.
he didn't like it, right? Didn't what he
Right.
said?
That's why I said they like monster, but not sugar mom.
Mhm.
Remember I said that earlier? Yeah.
Mhm. 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 Well,
It was
that's
very
crazy.
weird. Like when I saw some of the documents, I was like, I don't
Are they
understand
real?
how they sit. Yes, they're real. I
Okay.
don't understand how they have 50-50 joint custody still.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I'm just
Yes.
happy he didn't get child support. That was the main thing. And he was pissed that he didn't get it.
Well,
Yeah.
in that interview, he didn't even want to own up to the fact that he asked for
Right, he didn't.
it.
That
Yeah, the
is
interview with Queen
crazy.
Sheba. Yeah, he was a little upset with her too because she knew her stuff. She had read every document, saw every show, and was able to kind of say, "But Mel doesn't talk about you like that." And then he gets upset because he didn't plan on that to be like admitted over the PA system. It's so concerning that a judge with this many kids would be so heavily on one side that clearly seems unstable, uncertain,
I don't
doing
understand.
for one that he doesn't do for his other kid. I don't. It's
I
just
think
weird
that's
to me.
wrong. And I feel like this child would be under more ridicule and stuff because it's a side baby.
Yeah.
Like, I would be
Exactly.
afraid that people would say something bad about this child before any other ones.
Yeah.
They
Because of,
do.
I don't
The
get it.
nicknames that baby has is kind of disturbing, but people have nicknames for that baby.
Wait a minute,
See?
I've not heard
I don't
anything about.
know them.
I don't know any of that.
They
Let me
call
see.
So
that
that's
baby Little Helmet.
no. Sorry.
Little helmets. What the hell? What's the
Think about it, Callie. Think about it, Callie.
What children wear helmet? That's so.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he
Uh,
should want to protect that kid. I don't understand.
child.
I think he
But
knows that
he,
when Mel shows her kids, people love that, she does fun stuff with them and she's
Mm-hmm.
taking them like on vacations. And so people see what she's doing for them. He can't do it. So
I
since he's
just saw
doing
Yeah.
her.
this kind of stuff,
I saw her story. She's taking them on vacation right now.
yeah, they're on vacation, but she can't show them. She'll just say, we outside or something like that.
But
Yep. Well,
but he can show Knox. I mean,
yeah.
wow.
And then how would Tank feel? So you can show and do things with my brother, but you
Yeah.
can't, but not me.
Okay, and that's probably
Mm-mm.
the most hard. There's a lot of heartbreak in this anytime you're dealing with kids, but to know that no, you can't come to Spider-Man with me, but I am with the son I refer to as my favorite son, my favorite child. And then
That's
Hmm.
right.
you got little Tank over there. It's like, really, Dad? You've known me how long? And I'm
And
this
isn't he
long.
a junior?
He the
Who?
second. She
He's a
Oh,
didn't
he's
put
the
the
second. I'm
junior.
saying
She
that, but
put
he's
the
named after
second.
his dad.
Yeah.
Mm,
But what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
I'm
I done
not.
got
I'm
mad.
not. I'm not surprised that I feel like he's trying to dim the other four children's light
Mm.
to push the fifth child in the front because supposedly it is his favorite child.
supposedly.
So and then he probably thinks he can make money off of this one.
And that's
Like,
exactly what I
right.
think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to push that child up front because it's Martell's child, and Martell will have more control over what can be done with that child because Coleslaw is not going to be able to say, he said what? What did he
So
say, Gigi?
that was his favorite child. What do y'all think about the fact that he was at that wedding with her,
Oh,
knowing that he's
mm.
supposed to be dating Sheree? Like, what? Just, I don't know. That kind of, if I was Sheree, would you be still messing with him?
No, I wouldn't. But I would not have been still messing with him the minute we saw that they were a couple. And then Ariane got on there and completely said, well, really? Because when he left you, we had tossed salad over here at the
She
house.
sure
I mean,
did.
I wouldn't have continued with that anyway because there's so much uncertainty. Now, I understand Sheree's a beautiful girl. She's old enough to do whatever it is she wants to do and all that. But think about who you're doing it with. You really going to keep going? And this little girl over here doing and saying no telling what and what may or may not be true. I'm not having anything to do with Martell, no matter how fine he is, if you are on the regular over there doing some salad tossing. Just think about that.
Ew. Mm-mm.
God.
That's
Well,
I
nasty.
didn't
don't know if some dental floss can help with or what, but it's too intimate for
Oh,
my
no, we ain't doing
skin.
that over here.
That is just
didn't
That's too
Sheree
ridiculous.
much.
didn't Sheree's friend allude to the fact that Martell is like a two plump guy?
No, that was Tyrone, 2 Pump Chump.
I don't know. I don't know. Because she was like, are you still getting two pumps? And Sheree was completely embarrassed. Like, and I was
Oh,
Oh
like,
my God.
and if you ever listen to Coleslaw, she never talks about the package. It's always her sitting on his face.
She does.
I
It's
don't.
always what his tongue and stuff do.
oh,
Yeah,
that is so true.
it is true. She
Wait,
never.
that is so true.
Yeah, and even Mel was like, "Well, you don't do the stuff that I like. You say I don't do stuff that you don't like, but you don't do the stuff that I like." He didn't want to hear that. Y'all remember that conversation?
I remember that
Yeah.
conversation, and I always said I felt like Mel was the one who really wasn't satisfied in the marriage
Uh-huh.
because
He
she was
didn't
like,
seem interested.
no, because she was like, when I wanted to try new things, and he
Yep.
was like, what? Talk
What?
freaky to you?
Yeah,
And
talk
she was like,
freaky.
yeah. And I was sitting here like, wait a minute, you can lick somebody from the back to the front, but you can't talk freaky to your wife?
Yeah,
Time out.
and he
Time
made it
out.
sound like talking freaky was not what you want. That ain't nothing. Oh, that ain't nothing. Well, it's something to her. But you want to complain about what she's not doing? Come on.
Clearly, the muscles weren't turning Mel on anymore.
No, because that ain't all this cracked up to be. You know
About a
what I
pump and a
mean?
half. It wasn't even 2 pumps.
Let's ask one more thing, and then we're gonna do Atlanta. What do you think about him expecting his mom to watch the children? Oh, Simply's gone. I want to know
No,
that she back.
I'm right here.
What do you think about that?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I thought the whole conversation, remember that they had in Destin, was all lies when she was like, "Oh, I only watched them for you like one time." I was like, Marlene, stop lying. He dumped them kids on you more than y'all want Mel to know he does.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really believe that too, and I think that's why he was so upset. You know, he's letting us know he was upset because she wasn't going to play dump the kid and run on whatever night that was.
It would be different if he didn't have 5 kids. And 2 of them are tiny. Like his mama don't want to. I would not want to deal with that.
I honestly feel like he wants Marlene to be like Miss Vanessa. You see, Miss Vanessa said on that show, I will buy a home in Huntsville just to be in town to help Mel during her week. That's what Martell wants from Marlene.
Yeah.
But Marlene has been consistent with saying, I raise my children. I'm not raising my grandkids.
Listen, Marlene trying to get tickets to Rick James, Tina Marie when they're, back in the day.
Marlene trying to drink. Okay.
And I'm mad at it.
Marlene said, pass the Inez.
Right. What do you think? Okay, let's ask, what do you think about Stormy since you're on here in her situation with Miss Betty? What you think about Miss Betty? Is Betty worse than Wanda? That's what we're going to ask.
She definitely is. And I feel like she was dead wrong to put her nephew's business on national television like that.
Yeah.
I thought Aunt Lisa was wrong for putting the responsibility of telling her about the firing on Stormy and not her son. That was an excuse talking about he's a grown man. Yeah, so he can tell you he got fired from his job if he's a grown man.
But didn't they say that he was on the video when what's her name came, so he wasn't really fired? The black Titanic lady. They said he was there.
I couldn't watch that because she just went from 0 to 100 real quick. It was like
she said she did it on accident. Callie, what exactly did she say about the
lie? Please. I mean, she did say that she didn't know she was live, but trust me, I can barely find the live button. You know when you live, okay?
Right.
What?
She called her a lot of big biatches.
Yes, she did.
How dare you stupid? And then she kept saying, that's just weird. That's just weird. What the up? It's like she was just hot and sweaty and just really upset.
She was like, you two people are weird as F. Weird as F. I was like,
she was.
Get in your car, B. Get in your car, B. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, she tried to put it on TikTok, and TikTok said it was what they say. It was obscene. They took our video down. The most. Yeah, she was doing the most.
She was doing the most. And while she was saying that, there was still a camera on the Black Titanic's face.
Yep.
And Black Titanic was looking shocked, like, Her friend was about that life, though. Her friend was like, look here.
Oh, I need to go watch. I didn't watch it all.
The friend was funny, and she 80 years old. She was like, bring it, okay?
She was like, call a po-po home.
She did. Call the po-po. Ain't nobody scared.
That was good.
Tell somebody they was fat. I mean, look here. She was
no, she did. Callie, where's the video? I don't remember any of this.
We couldn't post it on TikTok because they kept all the curse words Stormy was saying. But I think it's on Black Titanic's face somewhere. Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all feel? And we'll get off after this. Let y'all have something else to say about how the show is going. Like, do you feel like it's going in the right direction, wrong direction? Like,
no.
What do you think?
I think it's going in the wrong direction. I don't, Carlos told Stormy a few months before the new season started or whatever, that she was the future of the show. And I think Stormy as the future of this show is just saying right there, you don't want the show to succeed. She is a nightmare.
She is.
She's a nightmare.
She changed. She was so kumbaya. I'm having
funny the first season.
Butterflies.
Yeah,
And
especially when she would look at the camera like, "Did y'all just hear that stupid thing Tiffany said?"
yeah, like
I mean, I
and
loved
now
it.
she's totally changed. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's because she's hanging
she's
with them
mean.
other people or
Hanging
Yeah.
with
what.
the Scots.
God,
Yes,
what do
hanging
you
with the
think,
Scots
Tammy?
and them, Destiny. I don't know.
Stormy being the future of the show.
Or just how the show's going in anyway? Like,
Oh, definitely the wrong direction.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Carlos let this toxic behavior go on too long. The
yeah,
ganging
yeah.
up on one person. I really think that him in the network actually looked very disgusting, considering the fact that they have not said anything about that revenge P plot.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that was bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was.
Well, that was an interview that Kiki did, and somebody asked her, and it might have been it's like three women, maybe. I don't know who the hell they were. And she said, "We haven't talked about it on the show. They don't really want to bring it up." She said, "But I feel like it was wrong." And she said what she felt about it. But I don't think that anybody else is going to, unless asked, and even if asked, if they will even answer what they feel about it.
Personally, I think Mel is going the legal route with it. So more than likely, she's going to say no comment anyway.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. But you, even the other man should have been like, Martell, how could you do that to your wife?
They
And then,
knew about it. That's why.
and if I'm a woman and I'm sleeping with Martell, I would not trust him because if you would do this to the mother of your kids, what would you do to me? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well,
Because you should hold her on the high esteem. What you gonna do to me?
true.
And how quick he is to defend Ariane.
Oh, that made me mad.
He
I
said
mean,
what she
it's
did was a
irritating.
mistake.
Yeah,
And he wanted her to come on the show.
He's still
yeah.
fighting for that.
Why?
He is all about self. He is about self. He doesn't care what happens. He thinks the world is supposed to revolve around him.
Yeah.
And I started watching the show because I thought it would be about. Okay, so JJ, that's allegedly that's what they claim it was going back to. That's what we were
And
supposed to
it's
see
not.
this season, and
Mm-mm.
that's kind of why they started with Stormy and her little warehouse meeting, which I don't care what nobody says. It's the first meeting that company ever had. Okay.
That was. They was sitting around like, what we supposed to talk about at the company meeting? And then she saw the little
Company
white guy.
meeting, and
Kelly
I'm
was like,
like,
and the only person she said that worked hard was the white man.
well, he wouldn't. And she better not fire him either because all that praise on the television camera. Look, and now they're still getting rid of people. If he's one of them, I would have him take that video to the judge and be like, "Judge, look, come on, work with me, give me some cash."
I'm
No,
Yeah,
mad
that
that
was the best part.
I'm mad
yeah,
that they were 5,000 orders in the backlog. Like, girl,
Right?
and you firing people? Wait
mm,
a
And
minute.
she didn't want to hire no temp service. Like when you have that many things, hire a temp service. Have them get them orders out and then stop that. I don't know. Bad business.
mm.
Very bad business.
I agree.
I
Let's see
agree.
who didn't change the battery in their smoke detector. Oh, I don't know. I don't hear a smoke detector. Is it somebody who got a smoke detector? It ain't mine.
Wait a
I
minute.
don't
Wait
think
a
it's
minute.
mine.
Wait a minute. What does it say? Lady Slayer Tyrone. She didn't heard one of the smoke detectors. I don't know. I don't hear, but it's funny that you heard it. I love that for some
Now
reason.
I'm listening.
Montique, that's how I was a couple of weeks ago when I said, Montique, your picture's crooked. You know how you
I
used
know
to.
how to okay. So I have an adjustable base bed. So one side was higher than the other.
I
And I
was
was like,
like,
Kelly, do you not have this?
I mean, if she was talking about a fan, I would be like, ooh, that's mine.
yeah,
I don't hear
yeah.
anything. But
Neither
anyway, is
do
there
I.
anything else that we missed or you want
I
to talk
don't.
about?
I don't think there's anything else that we.
I don't think it.
Yeah, we just. I don't know about Maurice's future on the show. Poor Kimmy.
I
Hopefully
know.
Kaya. I love Kaya. She was the best part of the show this week.
And I thought
Her
she
and her
looked very
son.
pretty. I
Yeah,
really like she looked really pretty.
she's a very pretty lady.
I heard it
And
now.
oh, I did hear that.
Somebody's
Is that
fire department.
Let me go check mine.
Hey
I'm gonna have to
Angie,
check
Angie,
mine
we're
too.
done.
Hey
We're about to
Angela.
do Atlanta. I don't know if any of y'all watch Atlanta. It won't be
Yeah.
long because I ain't got many notes on that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
But
stopped watching Atlanta a long time ago.
Mel, I missed her on the show. I feel like a lot of people didn't enjoy it because she wasn't there. Kiki wasn't there. Tiff, Blue, like they only kind of focused on Joy, we about to leave. Look at Joy. Let's get Joy.
Joy
you about to go.
Girl, I feel so bad.
You should.
God, guess what I was doing? I was
watching TV.
Hold on, I'm muting it. I'm muting it.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew it.
Nothing. Seriously, I have no excuse. And my husband came, he's here. And I was sitting down talking, and I said something. I got my phone on my purse. It's been in my purse since I got home from work. Mm-hmm. And I opened up my purse, and he's like, "We live." I'm like, "Oh
crap!" Wait,
that was a pretty lady.
Yeah, that was the most quiet conversation we ever had about Martell Holt ever.
I know.
Oh, shut up. Y'all probably was dogging my guy. What was the point? What was the main point?
That's the babysitter. About him needing 20 babysitters so he can have somebody to watch his kids.
About him getting mad at his mama.
I will say this. You know, Melanie does get a little honest, which shocked me in the previews for next week.
And you know why she was so honest? Because the judge is crazy. We need to know who she is.
Well, the judge, Martell does. You can read it because it was
came on and told us a little bit about it.
Yeah, but she failed him in a lot of situations.
Yeah, and did you hear why?
I didn't. Why did she say she failed?
She has issues where she is always more on the men's side than the woman's side in previous cases.
Or
no matter what.
I don't think that it's so much. Well, I don't know her. I think people tend to say things like that aren't looking at things sometimes through a man's lens.
Oh, God.
And I really do think the only reason why I have so much compassion is because I am a kid whose father did win a custody case against my mother.
But your daddy ain't nothing like Martell.
I didn't say, but no, he wasn't. Okay. But my father did do things as an adult woman that I can admit was flat out wrong.
Yeah.
We
all make mistakes. So
yeah, he did things. He did petty things.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've talked about it before. What he didn't do though, he wasn't okay with the Portia and the Simon situation. You said your daddy did the same thing, but no, because your daddy wasn't engaged when he met the other person.
No.
No. No, it was probably the opposite. The issue, but I think my dad was so hurt when my parents broke up. He responded in a male chauvinist. He even admitted to me when I was an adult that he filed for custody against my mother just to get underneath her skin. Yeah. He was honest about it.
He won. And then
he
won.
And he then he like, won. He admitted it. We talked about it. My father, he was really a good guy, but he found himself in some bad situations sometimes.
Doesn't include no.
What do you think about Martell saying that he didn't like that his mom wouldn't watch the kids and he gonna stop? She got to do certain things.
I thought that was hard to listen to.
Yeah,
I hear him. You know, you're expecting your mom to do something, and she says she's going to do something, and then she changes her mind. But those are not her children. And
it's not one child.
Mama gotta have a life too.
People was waiting, Joy, and Joy wasn't even there to argue with.
Right? They probably was just dogging my guy. I love men that love on their children. I'm very compassionate for men.
Yeah, but we're talking about
he got a hell of a way of loving on his kids, though. But all right,
exactly. He loves his children, and I think that a lot of times it's hard for a lot of women to separate what he did to his wife and what and how his relationship is with his children.
Joy, I got a question for you.
Things.
Go ahead.
Did you see all the documents, or did you just see the ones that was made public?
I mean, what other documents could I see besides what was
I'm talking about the ones that was made, certain YouTubers talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or did you see? see all of them.
I mean, I only saw. I didn't personally pull it up. I pulled up stuff that it was two YouTubers that it was two what do you call them, vloggers who talked. I saw both of those vlogs in its totality.
Okay, so you didn't see a lot of the other documents. That's the reason.
And I've seen, but I don't know what all is. I've seen things that people have posted in groups as well. But no, I know that you can go download them because people have, and they've pulled out things that fit whatever narrative they were trying to throw out there. But I personally have not gone on their website because I know that Melanie tried to prevent it from being open and they wouldn't allow that. So I know that you can go and view those documents if you so choose.
I understand why she was trying to steal them because of her kids and certain things that were said by the children.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially from a judge that, if we check her record.
But I mean, there are so many judges. When you talk to men in general, all of us got cousins, uncles, friends who have been the male in a divorce or a breakup of a relationship, and they are fighting for their children. I had an aide. Y'all know I teach. I had an aide once.
I didn't get to finish my comment, but we're just gonna keep going.
Who I personally saw fight for his child. He had a daughter by a nut, and she did stuff, and he would take pictures. Like one time, took up their baby's soiled Pampers and put it all over his car. Came to the job. We had to call the police. And he had for custody for his daughter. It was really sad, and he really didn't have any money. He was a teacher's aide. Y'all know if teachers don't make money, y'all know aides don't make a whole lot. And how he ended up getting his master's degree. He's a teacher now. He had to go through some kind of like the Urban League had some kind of court,
like a legal aid.
Fathers, a legal thing, and you had to go through these classes. This guy was serious. There are men out there. We focus so much on the numb nut.
Yeah, they talking about you.
Okay, goodbye. I'm done. When all boiled down, whatever. I ain't thinking about that.
What happened? Oh no, we gotta do Atlanta, y'all. Okay, we gotta go. Atlanta time. We'll be back.
Oh God.
All right. Good night, ladies.
Bye.
All right, be good.